What's up, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Falcons in Focus podcast presented by Ticketmaster. I'm Scott Bair. That's Tori McElhaney. Falcons wide receiver KhaDarel Hodge is joining us, and we couldn't be more thrilled because, as we admitted before we started recording this podcast, we spent our entire Thursday, which is when this is going on tape, going down a KhaDarel Hodge TikTok rabbit hole. Yes. We spent most of the day going over one video after another and being like, oh, that one's really funny. Oh, that one got 1.8 million views? How is that a thing? So I feel like we have to start there.
Yes.
Give us the origin story about how this turned into such a thing. You have almost 100,000 followers. You've had a number of videos go over 1 million that I've seen. And for those that haven't gone, hit pause on the podcast. Go to, give them the...
KhaDarel Hodge is just KhaDarel Hodge.
Right. Go to it. Consume a couple. They're funny and interesting.
They're really
and
good.
So now, with the intro laid out here,
Appreciate it.
tell us how you got started with this thing.
Actually, I've been doing this since my freshman year of college, actually. But it's been on like a couple different apps. I even used Vine back in the day. Dub Smash, like all type of things. But eventually, I wanted to build my Instagram and TikTok thing, so that came along, and I've dropped a couple videos lately this year, and they're, like you said, they've been kind of trending. And so, yeah, like I'm gonna keep building on it. I think I enjoy doing it. It's something I like to do in my free time, and yeah. So
there's one that's called Uber driver picking me up after bottomless mimosas.
I had a friend who sent that to me like right when he first dropped it, and she was like, "This is so funny. This is so us." And I was like, "You know who that is, right?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "That's KhaDarel." And I was like, "He's one of the receivers on this team."
Oh man!
Like, so it's just so funny that like you've created this content that it's reached a lot of people, and it's very, very funny. But that one in and of itself is very good.
Yeah, what I've noticed the more things I do that you can like based off like real life situations, more people can relate to, and those are the things that trend. So I've kind of started to dig into more like videos like people can relate to and people actually do and find funny, like, oh, I've done that before, I've been here before. So I think that's where a lot of my engagement comes from.
Yeah, I mean, like when you see something go, let's say on average they're, I don't know, 20,000, just throwing a number out, and then you see one to go to 2.4, 1.8, around 1 million. Are you just staring at your phone like, oh, and then it starts trending on Instagram, right? And then it becomes like a whole thing. Like what goes through your mind?
It was crazy. The first video I seen that actually started trending, I was like, okay, it's like at 10,000. I'm like, okay, I'm doing something. But then I'll probably go play the game or go work out, and I start seeing my phone like get a lot of notifications. I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? And it'll go from 10,000 to 100,000 to 500,000 in like an hour or two, and I'm like, okay, it's kind of big right now. Okay, I was like, it's kind of big, like, and that was like my first time going viral, so it took me by surprise. But I was like, okay, I might be on to something. But yeah, like I enjoy doing it, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Do you have one that is your favorite that you look back on and you're like, man, I'm really funny?
The one, no, I don't gas myself like that. The ones I actually feel like I put a lot of work into, those are the ones that don't trend as much.
That's on TikTok, because TikTok is just random. Just random. The most random crazy things are the ones that actually work.
Yes. Well. I feel like I've done some videos and I'm changing costumes. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the one. Like this is gonna go. And boom, nothing. But then I'll make one and it'll be like, I'm in and out, like, okay, I just need something to post. Million. I'm like, whoa, like, you never know at TikTok. You got to have the right time of the day, the right hashtags, the right everything with TikTok. It's kind of crazy, but I enjoy doing it. Even if it doesn't go viral, I just like doing it in my free time.
All right, I just have one more. I'm sorry, we keep harping on the same thing. I'm just fascinated about how this turned in from like 4,000 or 5,000 to explosion, right? And so like, how do you say you try to go out with stuff that's like personal or that like people can relate to? I mean, But like, are you scripting these things out? Are you setting up your shots? Like, how detailed are we getting? Or like, are you just being like, this is kind of funny. Like, let's just try this out.
Yeah, I'm more of like a try it. It'll be more spontaneous. If I see a video and I'm just scrolling through, whether it's like me lip syncing a movie or a song, or just trying to bring a song to life like the Mimosa video and look at it from my point of view, I just put it in my own mind and like do my own spin with it. So yeah, it'd be kind of random. I'll just be going through my page, and whatever video I see, I'm like, okay, I could probably do this, but I can make a spin to it my own way, and I think it'll be funny that way.
I love it. Everyone go follow KhaDarel Hodge on TikTok. Plug.
You might lose a whole day doing it.
Yeah, yeah. That's, again, that's all we've been doing all day today. It's like we get paid to do this. It's a great time. Oh man. So I want to talk. You know, we talked about TikTok, but one of your other hobbies, and I will say hobbies because what you do is pretty impressive too. We really are gassing you up on this podcast, but I love your Gameday Fits. And I do a show with Kelly Price on Fox 5. It's called Rise Up Tonight. And we have a whole segment where it's called Falcons Fits. And we go over all of y'all's fits. And we pick the 4 or 5 best fits. I'll tell you this, and this is not me just like saying this because you're sitting right here. You were on it almost every week, and
Grady's not gonna like that.
The only reason Grady was on it too. The only reason you weren't on there every single time is because we felt the need to like spread the love, and we're like, we can't just keep. We started calling you like our king of Falcons fits because your fits were so good last year.
I'm blushing.
So please tell me the story of kind of how you got into fashion and why it's something that you have been gravitating towards for a little bit now.
I've always been into fashion, like growing up. Actually, I have a twin sister. Me and my twin sister, growing up, we always wanted to like partner and start our own line, our own brand.
Oh, cool.
And she's more of the ideal. She's actually has more fashion sense than me, but she can sew, she can do this, she can like put things together, and make it look like something like when you put it on, you be like, oh, I didn't think this would work. And she's actually good at that. So I really learned a lot from her, actually. And I just picked it up and kind of ran with it. And I look at different little pages. I do love fashion. I think it brings a lot of things to life, and people enjoy watching it. So yeah, it's something I really like doing. Like I said, sometimes I do have my stylist in the background. I know she want her little shout out. So, Rosia Vega.
Gotta get the plug.
Yeah. She been rocking with me since my rookie year. We started out as coming up together. So she's been doing a good job. But yeah, I definitely love fashion.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite fit from last year? I do. Do you want to hear which one mine?
Yeah, which one?
I can't remember. It may have been Tampa Bay, but it was it was like the light blue leather pants with the tulip button.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was so cool, and I also really liked it was one of the last ones with the like cream colored ripped pants with the big jacket.
Yeah, that's the one I was gonna say.
That one was really good. Yeah, that's the one
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I also thought the hoodie with the, I don't know what it's called. It's like a like Sistine Chapel type of look.
Oh yeah, the blue.
Yeah.
Okay,
I liked that one a lot. So those are my top 3.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Are those like your top 3, or those were?
That's I can't really think of all my outfits right now, but
there are a lot.
I know the one you mentioned, the one I said that was my favorite. I had on a blue. I think I had on a blue coat. I can't really think, and it's like blue and white.
Yeah. Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that one, and the third one is kind of in the air. To be honest, the third was kind of The third was kind of in the air.
I think we're gonna have to include like a whole like gallery in the thread like, with this podcast, so you can like refer to it.
Yeah, because I'm kind of like,
like, what did I wear?
Yeah.
Do you
kind of get tied up?
Are you the type that before the season starts, you have all of your fits picked out, or do you go week by week?
I tried to go like I tried to do everything before season, but it never worked out, and I ended up going week by week, and like I said, like she does her thing. Like I don't want to worry too much about it. I kind of trust her, and I let her put things together. She'll send me things and ask, do I like this and that, and I'll be like yes or no. But I kind of let her do her thing and sit back and just try to bring it to life. Sometimes we bump heads, but I'll be like, okay, I'll try it out. But yeah, she does a good job.
So you mentioned that you have a twin sister. Now let's kind of get into that a little bit. Like, what was it like? Because you're from a small town in Mississippi. Delo, am I saying it right? Delo.
I totally. It's Delo.
I sound like a California guy.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I'm over here from Chickamauga. It's Delo.
It's Delo.
So growing up in a small town, you had other siblings, but having a twin sister, like, what was that experience? Kind of growing up with somebody who was your age. You obviously.
Oh yeah, we basically best friends to this day. Talk whenever we need to talk. We kind of feel when each other's off about something. But growing up, I would say we done everything together. It really got to the point to where in school, like, they wouldn't even put us in the same class anymore. Like, it was like we was always together, like, growing up. Like, yeah, that's definitely my best friends. We used to share everything whenever we could, no problems. We was actually, I think we got into, like, one little fight in our whole life. And that's the only time we ever really just bumped heads. But, yeah, I rock with her. I got her back. She got my back to then.
Now, I was looking up, and correct me if I'm wrong, but your mom gave y'all nicknames. You were Big Red, and she was Lil Red. What's the origin story behind these nicknames?
Actually, my grandpa gave us all nicknames. Okay. All his grandchildren. Actually, we all have nicknames, and most of them stuck. Hers didn't stuck. Her name is Khadija. We just stuck with Deja. Lil Red no longer exists. But Big Red does. And if you say Big Red, then I know you're from Mississippi or you're from somewhere around the area. If not, then most people call me Red or something like that. But growing up, a lot of people couldn't actually say KhaDarel. If you see my name on paper, I done heard the worst of the worst. KhaDarel, Cordell. I'm like, man, just call me Red or Big Red at this point. So it's stuck. Even in school, the principals, the announcers at the games, they would be like Big Red Hodge or something like that. Like, they wouldn't even say KhaDarel anymore. So yeah, it kind of stuck, and that's what I rock with to today.
Wow, I didn't know that it was like that deep. Like that it had, been a part. That nickname has been a part of your life.
Whole life. Like, if you know me, I'd rather you say Big Red or Red. Like, I'll say that. I'll be like, "Hi, how you doing? My name is KhaDarel, but you can call me Red," instantly. Yeah. Because I know, like, they'll be like, "What, KhaDarel?" I'm like, "Okay, that's unique." I'm like, "All right."
And you said your grandfather gave it to you.
Yes.
Do you know why?
I don't know why.
That's the best nicknames is when no one knows why.
I do not know why he stuck with Red. It could be a light skin thing growing up, but I don't know, honestly. I'm talking about, he gave every one of us, it's like 12 of us, and he just spitting out nicknames as soon as we're born. So we just kind of stuck with it.
So I'm not going to pronounce the town's name anymore. I've lost the right to do that.
It's just Delo.
There you go,
Mississippi.
Delo.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, anyway, it's like 400 or 500 people.
Yeah.
Gas station.
It's
like
probably,
how many stoplights are we talking?
We talking no stoplights.
No stoplights.
Oh wow.
Let me think. Yeah. No stoplights. Stop signs.
Wow.
We'll just have stop signs.
The reason we asked that is because we had Troy Anderson on the podcast last season, and he was like, we have two in Dillon, Montana. He was like, but one of them stops working at like 10 o'clock.
Oh, wow. The stoplight goes
that
off?
That seems dangerous.
Yeah. So you don't need it anymore. It's after 10 p.m. No one's out. But no, so that's why we asked that. It's because it's like, okay, we're looking at Delo, Mississippi that only has 400 people in it. How many stoplights? Because the stoplight to people ratio has to be even.
No stoplights. When I think about it, we have no stoplights, and it's probably 300 people, 301 including me. But yeah, I think we do not have any stoplights. All stop signs.
So like, what was the? I know you're only 30, 40 miles from Jackson, but like, growing up as a kid, you're not you're not traveling 37
no.
miles all the time, but to grow up in a small town like that, like, what was the experience like for you, and how did that kind of maybe shape who you are where you grew up?
It was big actually, cause growing up in that small town, it's like everybody knows everybody. And my house was we call it the block, where everybody come on the block. My house is the house like everybody came to play football or basketball. All the kids come around. We take our bikes. We'll meet up at my place, and we'll probably go around the whole city just riding bikes or playing basketball. So it was big, like basically everybody's family at that point. Everybody, like all the kids would be outside, like I say from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or whenever the street lights come on. We just, like I said, to this day, it's still like one big family. Like they, anytime I have anything going on with the Falcons or anything going on, like they'll gas me up. They got my back, and they'll remind whoever is against it. So yeah, they rock with me heavy.
I love that. When you are kind of like going through your journey to even just to get to this point, and we'll talk more about it, but you know, at every point when I was reading about your story, it was like, you know, you'd go home for a little bit, and then something would happen, and then it'd take you somewhere else, and opportunities kept taking you different places. How gratifying did it feel for you to always have Delo, Mississippi to go back home to?
Oh yeah, it means a lot, because that's always that's always the place I can come back to and be like, no matter what's going on in my life, they got my back. Like I can feel down at times, and I can feel like I'm not doing enough to myself. But when I go back home, the kids, the parents, the everything, they're like, you're on the right track. You're doing this and that right. A lot of kids look up to you, and that gives me that extra to like keep going, because you never really know who's looking at you until you get that, until you hear it, and it's like, okay, this is bigger than just me.
Right.
Like I'm playing for more than just me. So anytime I go back home, I try to talk to as many kids as possible, even if I'm just going up to the high school, and I usually work out by myself, but if some kids pass by, I try to just tell them some knowledge. Like it's more than one way out, whether it's sports or any type of career. You don't have to settle for anything. Like go get yours. So I try to give them the input I didn't have growing up.
And there was a time where you went home. I think it was after you went undrafted, right? And you had a couple teams like at your pro day, but then you kind of had to go home and reset, right? Mm-hmm. I read something that you were basically like running routes on your own back home, like no quarterback, no ball, right? Yeah. Just running routes on your own by yourself. What was that experience like, and kind of like what drove you there? Because you're obviously still trying to live this NFL dream, and you're just doing whatever you can, and then you ended up getting a workout with the Rams that worked out for you, right? But that experience, right, sticking with it when you could have given up, what was that experience like for you going through it, and then the gratification of coming out of it with the opportunity that you were looking for?
It was tough, actually. Like you said, I had a pre OTA workout with the Rams, and I didn't make it. So I went back home, and I wasn't getting any calls or anything. So I was the quarterback, in high school, and I was usually the one throwing to everybody. So at this time, I didn't have anybody to throw to me.
To throw to you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So now I'm like, I can't just sit around and do nothing. Like I never gave up. I never gave up hope, really. Like I always felt like I was good enough to play in this league. So I'm like, I'm not going to be the reason. I'm not just going to sit around and wait for nothing. It's like, as long as I do my part and put the work in and trust in what God's plan, it'll work out. So I kind of did my part, stay prayed up, and I just let him work. And I just go out, like I said, every day. I was doing 2-a-days whenever. I'll wake up in the morning, work out. I'll go run routes as much as I can, just on air, like just catching nothing. But I just wanted to get those repetitions in, and eventually, it was kind of frustrating, because now you've gone from everybody always looking up to you, from star quarterback to success in college to now, like, you have no answers about what's really the next move in your life. And you got people from this way saying, okay, it's probably over with. And you got people here saying, okay, you can keep working. And it's like, what you gonna do for yourself? So you like really dig down deep and ask yourself, like, what do you really want? Like, I asked myself, what do I really want? And it was to play in the NFL. So I don't really care about what a lot of people say I can't do. Like, as long as I know I could do this, then it'll work out. So I kept working out, and it's crazy. Like I said, I think I don't know if I said this before or not, but I was talking to my twin, actually, and I was kind of down. You know, it was one of those days I was kind of down, and she just said, do you pray? Like, do you actually pray enough? Like, do you actually, like, just tell them what you want? And I was like, I ain't really think about it that way. So I started praying more, telling them what I actually wanted. And one day I was in church. It's crazy. I was in church and I just happened to go to altar call and asked them, like, and I told them what I wanted. And walking out of church, the Rams got called, and I was like, whoa. The Rams got called, and he was like, are you in shape? I'm like, of course. Like,
been running around.
Yeah. He was like, are you ready? Like, we want to bring you in for a workout. I'm like, how soon can you come? I was like, I could come right now if you want me to. And they flew me out, and I ran the route. I did the workout, and when I'm walking out the field, they told me I made the team, and I just like dropped to my knees right there, like God is real. Like, as long as you do your part, have faith, and just let him do his work, it'll work out.
It's really powerful. I mean, when you get that call and you're standing there kind of just outside of church, I mean, in that moment, kind of what's going through your head? Because like what you're saying, you're like, I had people saying, you know, go do something else. I have other people saying, hey, no, lean into this, follow what you're doing. To get that call, how much of not just a weight off your shoulders, but how much of it was a reassurance that, like, yes, what my dream is what I'm supposed to be chasing.
Yes, meant a lot. It's just that second chance, and that's what I felt like. If I got that second chance, then they would have to kick me out this league themselves. Like, yeah, I won't be the problem. Like, hard work won't be the problem, because I feel like God gave me this second chance for a reason. So I just know me doing my part won't be a problem. Like I said, hard work, positionless, like, took the pride out of the game. Like, I'm here for a reason, and you can use me whatever way you need to use me, whether it's special teams, it's receiver, it's whatever. Like, I'm here to do my job and trust God, basically.
Now, do you think you could be an emergency quarterback as well?
Oh, yeah.
100% star high school quarterback. Yes.
Yeah. So I think I've seen, you see some things. I think you could do it. I think
you think so?
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I kind of be putting the bug in their ear sometimes. They don't believe me, but I talk.
Just tell Arthur.
Yeah, I talk a little noise every now and then and try to hit the goalpost to show them, like, okay, you seen that, right? But yeah, it's always fun to mess with the quarterbacks. I'll tease them and be like, okay, QB4. Watch out. But yeah, it's always fun playing with those guys.
Yeah, because you were quarterback in high school. Your cousin Steve McNair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you played some quarterback before switching to wide receiver, which ultimately, was a good move because here you are. But like, maybe talk about that period, because you went to Alcorn State first, and then you, like, as a quarterback, and then bounced to Hines Community College, and then went to Prairie View with your old offensive coordinator. Then ended up kind of thriving as a wideout. Yeah,
that was.
I mean, that's a crazy couple years.
Yeah, it was crazy. I went to Alcorn. I always wanted to play quarterback. I never really played any other position but quarterback, and I had other offers, and they wanted me to play safety or receiver, but in my head, like, I feel like I didn't want to play anything else, so I took the offer to Alcorn. I I did my freshman year there, and I redshirted. I redshirted there my freshman year. Things wasn't really going the way I wanted it to go, and I kind of felt like I had needed to make the transition to receiver. So I ended up going to Hines Community College in Mississippi. Total shocker.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In what way?
First time playing receiver against actual defense and did not go the way planned was supposed to go. Was getting jammed. I'm gonna admit, it was like a whole new thing. Like looking from the quarterback side, like it's like okay, I could do this easy. Like it's just catching the ball really, but I didn't really know like the ins and outs of the receiver, like how to get open and everything. And okay, I was like, okay, this is probably harder than what I thought it was. So I actually didn't get a lot of playing time at Hines. Like I actually didn't play at all, to be honest. And that was another question. Like I got to that point after the season. I'm like, well, I might have to go D2 or something like that because I had no film to go off of.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
And you were injured during that year too, right? Had like a broken thumb.
Yeah, broken thumb. I actually broke my thumb at Alcorn in practice.
Okay.
I was throwing and it hit a guy's helmet, and I don't know, it was kind of on some fluke stuff for real. And after I left after that, so I was recovering from my thumb, and I was kind of ready for the season, kind of wasn't, but I kind of had no choice to just get in there and play. And it just didn't go as planned. So I wasn't getting a lot of shine after the season. Again, it was back to just praying and hoping and just working. And like I said, Coach Simmons had ended up becoming the head coach at Prairie View, and it was a random call, and I didn't know. He called me, and it's like who you got offering you? And I'm like, nobody. And he was like, I just became the head coach at Prairie View A&M. I was like, okay, well, take me with you. He was like, you want to go with me? I was like, man, I'll ride with you there. And I didn't take a visit or anything, so I just went straight there, and kind of worked out from there. I met up with my great receiver coach, Coach Reggie Moore, and he basically trained me from then to now. I work with him. I talk to him until now. He's more of a mentor right now. We can work when I can, but he basically taught me the fundamentals from hand-eye coordination to top of the route to everything. And I just kind of put that work in with him and put in a lot of work overtime, and the work eventually showed.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought up Reggie Moore, because there was a quote from you that you said, and you alluded to it here, where you said, he developed me from the ground up. Like what you were when y'all first started working together, and then what you ended up being like 3 seasons later. When it came to your development with him, what was something that he taught you that you look back on and even today you're like, thank God he drilled that into my head?
Fundamentals of the game. He's more of an old school coach, so they really hammer the fundamentals. And what I've learned now, like, it don't matter how much flavor you got, you can never get away from the fundamentals of the game, man. It's just the basic footwork, the hands, the placement of everything. It always goes back to the fundamentals. And he really drilled that, whether it's, like I said, top of the route, getting in and out of cuts, eyes, catching the ball, attacking the ball. It was everything always went back to the fundamentals. So that's the big thing he really taught me.
I look back at it, it's like the reason why I think we love doing this podcast so much is there are people who probably only know you watching you on for 3.5 hours on Sunday and on your TikTok channel, right?
Yeah.
But then you hear this success story coming from nothing and really having a couple of valleys, and yet here you are, second year with the team, caught your first receiving touchdown last year, and are kind of like standing tall as an example of kind of what can be created here. And that, I think, is such a fun part of this conversation. There's no easy way to transition from that to this, but we have a section of the pod. It's called Rapid Fire. Sometimes it's not that rapid, but it's essentially the same 5 questions everybody gets.
Okay. Yep.
Pressure's on. Are you ready? There's really no reason to be worried. But I just like to say that it is. First one, what is your favorite play of your career? High school, college?
High school, anywhere?
At your
favorite
entire
play
career.
anywhere.
It was actually in high school. I would say we played our rival, McGee High School, and I was at quarterback. We did a little read option, and I really talk noise to them today every year. Every year when we about to play them, I had like a little read option play at quarterback, and I don't know how it happened, but I probably juked like the whole team. And it was crazy.
There's got to be game film of this somewhere.
Yeah, it was crazy.
We need to pull that up.
It was like a 60-yard run. Yeah, it was pretty smooth. I ain't gonna lie. I hate to gas myself like that.
It's okay. We'll find the video and we'll let the video speak for itself.
I was like, okay, yeah. That was pretty smooth.
I love that, and the fact that it's like high school rivalry.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot. Yeah. Next question: is there a movie or a TV show that you're really into right now?
Really into right now. I just finished Power Book 2, Ghost. That's great. I love Outer Banks. I'm waiting for love Outer Banks.
Stop it.
Come on now.
I love Outer Banks.
I love Outer Banks.
It's the craziest show, and it's like so unrealistic, but I love it.
But you can't help to get into it though. It's crazy.
No spoilers on the podcast.
Yeah, I want to talk about it. Yeah, I want to talk about it. Tune in Outer Banks.
It comes highly recommended.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll put it on on my list. Who's your favorite player regardless of sport?
Player regardless. I say Bron, probably Bron for sure.
Yeah, I mean he's only been doing it.
Yeah, King James. It seems like he does not only everything right on the court but off the court. He like his everything is in order. Like everything he does just seems to be like goes up.
Yeah,
like, he makes the right moves. Like I don't know, he just got the right circle around him and everything. Like he does it the right way.
Is there, and it could be home cooking, it could be a restaurant from where you're from or where you are now, like what's a meal that
it's definitely Mom.
I was about to say, you were talking about all the kids came over to y'all's house.
Yeah.
I read something that she cooked for everybody.
Yeah. So Sunday, you already know what's going down. We have the Soul Food Sundays. Soul Food Sundays. That's last meal on earth is going to be soul food. Fried chicken, you got greens, you got yams, you got macaroni, you got the pound cake, you got everything under the sun that's old that's gonna hit you the right way, that's gonna give you the itis about 30 minutes. Everybody sleep.
Yeah, zonked out. There's something special about the nap that hits after a soul food type of moment.
You wake up thinking it's the next day type of nap. Like, what I missed.
It's dark outside.
Like what I missed.
All right, last one. If you could have a superpower, what would that superpower be?
I'd probably say teleporting. I always wanted to teleport. I'm like kind of a last minute wake up guy.
And then you can't be late for meetings.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. Like I can wake up. We got meetings at 8. I can feel like I can wake up at 7:45, brush my teeth, wash my face, boom, get here. Like, okay, right in front of Arthur.
It's like, I made it. Don't worry.
Don't worry, I'm here.
Oh, man, that's awesome. KhaDarel, thank you so much for the time. Thanks to everyone who tuned in, downloaded, however you consume this podcast and listened. Yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, do it.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to say appreciate y'all for having me on this show. And I didn't mention this while we was talking about the TikTok, but I do want to become an actor after football.
Do you really?
I forgot to mention that. So Tyler Perry, if you looking, if you watching,
Tyler,
hit me up. I'm raw talent. I'm ready.
Well, there's no better way to end a podcast than that. So thanks everyone for downloading and listening to Falcons in Focus.
Especially Tyler Perry.
Especially Tyler Perry, who's definitely tuning in now.
Definitely watching.
And if not, we'll just send this to the studios down the way.
Our people will get in touch with your people.
Yeah, it'll work. Thank you so much for coming. See ya.